All right. Last time I made this video and I didn't show you guys where I was, so I want to show you kind of where I'm headed, where I'm going, what it looks like. This is like the way up the mountain. So you can see a little bit of where I am while I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, I just had a really bad sleep last night, tossing and turning, you know, thinking a lot. Last video I talked about the whole crazy thing, the idea of being crazy, and it's the absurdity of even the word of the idea crazy, actually. The absurdity of the word crazy to me is that most people that are crazy are like reacting to something that is real, and the actual crazy thing was if they were to stop reacting to something that happened to them that is very real. Like, that's when I would classify somebody as crazy. But like, most people in the world that are classified as crazy or that look and feel crazy these days are really just projecting actual trauma, like things that's in their body that happened to them in the past, and it just became worse and they'd never processed it. And crazy is, you know, I feel crazy like most of the time, but I know that I'm not crazy because I know that I'm reacting to certain really bad things that happened, things that really hurt me. And there's a voice inside of my head where that like basically tries to gaslight me. Like, there's a voice inside of my head that basically silences me. Like, every time I feel a certain way or think a certain way, the voice inside of my head says, "Oh, you're being negative again. Look at you being negative again." So it becomes like an eternal fight, gets pushed even more down. And I think I'm very lucky to even be aware of this dynamic, to even be aware that I have things, bad things inside of my body that I want to get out. I think a lot of people don't have any clue. And it's really hard because you're just walking around your whole life not having any idea of like the trauma. Like, you see two people that are both full of trauma and full of like just toxicity and fear and panic and anger and rage, like all these like, you know, healthy reactions to things that happen to them. One person is acting it out. One person's acting crazy. One person's like, you know what I mean? And the other person is not. The other person is just holding it in. And they might even be vicariously acting it out through the other person, the crazy one. But are you sane? Are you really sane? Are you really not crazy if you have just so much shit inside of your body, so much bad things happen to you, and you don't even know that it's there, and you can't even identify the negativity that you're holding, the heaviness, the pain, the anger, the sadness. So, okay, this is where I am. It's not the middle of nowhere. It's in the mountains. I mean, it's like overlooking the mountains of San Cristobal de Casas, which is a town in Chiapas. There's two horses over there, but you can't see them, can you? Can't see them. I need to do these walk and talks because like I need to do these like rolling videos. I can't do edited videos because if I edit a video, I'm gonna hate the whole thing. I'm gonna edit the whole thing out. There's like no way for me to legitimately be real with you guys in any of these without it being sort of like a rolling camera situation. So yeah, there's cars here, not the middle of nowhere. Trees, very pretty. This is where I'm walking. This is runners. It's very nice, and it's actually really very much a blessing to be as a girl in a place that's safe enough that you can take solo walks and you can, I'm out of breath. You can take solo walks and you can have conversations with yourself. There's that lake. Oh, it's getting warm out here. I really do not appreciate the cold weather here. Like, it's too cold at night, and I love it when it's warm. Okay, across the street, go to my favorite little spot, which is like a hole. What is that? Like a hole? A hole in the middle of the ground. You know what? So many people probably poop there. Maybe not. And there's this area up here. Let's see what that is. Let's check it out. All right. It's like this clear area. Usually I always see a cop car truck like stationed out here. They always just sit down. Wow, there's a whole hiking trail. It goes up. I don't know if it's a hiking trail or like a, what is it? Should we try to go up? I don't know if I should be going up here. I don't really know this area. Feels good to be here and to do this. All right. Maybe I'll just sit here and then I'll walk a little more when I feel kind of out of breath, to be honest. And I think it's probably just being weak and being sick. I actually got this hat in Cusco in Peru. And I don't know if you guys remember my Peru video, but I actually went there like years ago, like January 2020. So that was like right before COVID happened and all the lockdowns, and it was a fantastic trip. It was really great. I think COVID really made a lot of people move backwards mentally. It certainly did for me, even though for me, it was actually a blessing for my financial security. COVID kind of, and you'll only kind of understand this if you read my book, and I'm not trying to like slip my book in there, but House Hackers Anonymous, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, like how do you have a job? What's your job? How are you doing? How are you just walking around in nature, like talking to yourself? Read my book, House Hackers Anonymous. Like, it's basically my entire escape plan, financial freedom escape plan. And it's really not anything, it's not any secrets. It's literally how I did it, what I did. You might read it and think like, this is crazy. Why would anyone do this garbage? Like, I have a better way. So if you have a better way, that's really good. But that's the way that I did it, and it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way that things turned out with COVID, despite it being, for myself too, like a very stressful mental time, mental health stress, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going through like this really big like self-discovery development thing right now where I'm trying to understand myself. Like, I've always known that I'm just a person that's full of trauma and like full of, like, what even is trauma? It's just bad energy. Like, sometimes you don't even know what you are on about. You don't even know what is bothering you, but it's in your body, and you feel it. Like, it's you know what I mean? You feel like and that's what it is. Like, your parents could have given it to you. You could have inherited it from your parents, and they don't even know it, and nobody knows it, and then you just are walking around with this like you feel like you want to know how it feels like. And this is ironic because I don't know if this is, you know, my parents escaped from Iran during the Persian the Iran-Iraq war, and that's like right before they had me, and they were in they were like hiding under, like, my mom would tell me about I think my dad lived in like a side in like a village or something. My mom lived in like the city in where they were in Iran, and like there were rockets and missiles being thrown in their city, and she and her family members and her neighbors and everybody, they were like, regularly while this war was happening, they were having to hide in parking lots under car, like literally little kids would go crawl under cars to try to keep themselves safe from whatever rockets were being thrown at them. And the feeling that I have going through life is literally that feeling of like like I can't even tell you guys. You're gonna think I'm crazy if I play out for you what I've actually recorded several videos. I recorded several videos that I think are too crazy looking for people to see, but I want you guys to see it because, like, this is a real human experience. This is the ability to release, like like, you know, you feel like I've felt like this my whole life. Like, I feel like I am in a parking lot with missiles being thrown at me, and I'm like and I'm crying because, like, it feels really good to talk about it, but you feel like you are in a prison of your own mind and your own body, and if you show even like a tiny bit of it to someone else and you try to express it in like socially acceptable ways, you try to channel that energy out, because the energy, it has to come out from you because it's going to kill you. It's like bad energy, right? So you try to channel it into, like, you know, when I was in politics, I would channel it into political opinions. You know, when I was religious, when I was in the community, I channel it into, you know, I'm a very analytical person. My mind is very active, so I can channel it out through my mind, through opinions, thoughts, ideas, but it makes people uncomfortable, not because the idea itself is a problem or anything. It's people are receiving a traumatized energy. They're feeling this energy that is trying to come out. And I haven't been letting it come out in like the way it wants to, you know. I don't even know how to let this fully come out, you know. I'm trying, and so it comes out in the way I talk, you know, the way I talk to people, you know. And you see, sometimes you might even meet somebody that you notice. I actually met someone like this the other day that I was like, oh my God, that guy stresses me out so much, like, here in this town, like, because it is in his body, it is in the way he talks, and he's just like, and he's talking to you, and to him it's normal, it's like his mannerisms, the way he is, but to me it is like, oh my gosh, like, hide. So there's just so many people walking around like this. And the thing is, like, I just feel like it's really hard to be around people because, especially during this time, when I have given myself the permission and I made this decision that I really want to heal, like I really want to become healthy because I'm 30 years old. And, you know, some people might think this is garbage, but I really want to have a family. Like, I really want to have children. Really, really, really. Like, and the reason why I haven't had children until now is because I don't want to be bad for them. I don't want to hurt them and recreate what I experienced as a child, which was, I really was not a happy kid. Like, I don't even know how to say this. I'm sorry to anybody who's offended by me saying that. I wasn't a happy kid. So I just don't want to do that to children. So it's really important for me to let this stuff go. And it literally is impossible for me to do this around other people because I feel an incredible amount of shame, and I feel an incredible amount of restriction, tightness. Like, if I really let it out, and if I really release this energy and there's other people around, it is going to hurt them. So I don't want to do that, because that will recreate more issues and more traumas for me, right? So, like, it's gonna make me feel more ashamed to be around people. It's going to, you know, because I know deep down that I hurt someone with my energy. So let's walk a little bit. I know this is like kind of, it's so nice. It's like a trail. It's very pretty. Hola, buenos días. Yeah, it's actually a very beautiful trail. Look at this. I mean, it's just trees to you guys because you're watching a video, but it's very beautiful. It's very pretty. I love this. I love this. I mean, I can just come out here all day. And this thought has actually occurred to me. This thought has actually occurred to me. My tripod is broken. So this is what I do every time I sit down. So yeah, I've actually thought about coming out here and just walking until I can't walk anymore and just sit and talk and talk and talk until my heart goes out. And should I? I don't feel comfortable like literally doing this in front of a human. I have a therapist and she's actually really amazing. Like, she's great. And the people in my life are actually really, really good, like really amazing. Like, you know, I've talked about like Andrew's background, and it's like so scary and suffocating, and I feel, you know, like I don't want to offend this person or that person or this person or that person. Like the culture, it feels like, oh, you can't say this or that. But the reality is, like, the immediate people in my life, like, you know, including my partner, like everyone, they're probably the easiest. Sorry, I spit. Not sorry, because you guys won't even feel my spit. But the reality is, like, the people in my life are more than I've ever had, the easiest people for me to be around, the most supportive, the most amazing people that I have ever had at any point in my life, and my therapist is amazing. I use BetterHelp. I'm plugging another thing in here, so whatever. Screw you guys. I'm plugging in BetterHelp. So if you're interested in 2 free weeks of therapy, there is a link in the description, and it's in all of these videos. There's a link in the description. You can get 2 free weeks of therapy if you sign up for BetterHelp using my link. So go check it out. And so that's my therapist. My therapist is through BetterHelp, and it's pretty good. But there is just the element of I can't fully let go in front of another human, around other humans, because deep down I know that I could hurt them. Like, I have the power to hurt them with my energy, because I have so much negative energy stored inside of my body. And so there's like, I don't know how to do it without it being in complete isolation, save for being able to come and do these videos, which are amazing, because it's like, I don't feel like I'm hurting anybody. Like, I don't feel like I'm hurting you guys. I don't feel like, because it's like, if you wanted to, you could just not watch, right? You can turn it off. Like, it's not like you're not here in person, and I don't even have to know who you are. So it's like, it's like the kind of release that is impossible to be felt elsewhere. So yeah, I mean, there's people here, and it feels very like I should have found a more remote spot. It's like this dilemma for me where you have to choose between a place that is so, like, a spot that's so remote versus feeling safe. So the only main reason of even trying to be around people for me at this point is safety, to be honest. Like, I don't know if I haven't like really convinced myself that I'm safe in this world, as long as I'm not like around people a lot, because, you know, I could technically just go to the middle of nowhere and just live my life and do my thing by myself forever. But there's the fear that someone might come and try to kill me, or, I mean, I know like people think this is like over dramatic, but this is the kind of fear I live with like every day, and I don't know why, but I know there's a reason. I know that there is a why. I don't know what the why is. So yeah, it's basically just the dilemma of choosing between being safe and not being crazy. And like, when I'm with myself, I don't feel crazy, obviously, because that I can just release. I can go, ah! I can do that. I can scream. I can yell. You can't really do that around humans because, you know, boundaries. And the odd thing is that I feel like I attract it in other people. I really do. Like, anywhere I go, you can have someone who is just like the most sane person ever, but I feel like by me being there, their craziest self is gonna come out, and they might even feel ashamed and embarrassed about it. They might be like, oh my god, like, I'm not usually like this. I'm only like this because of Pardes, you know, because like she brought it out in me. I swear, I am not trying to bring it out in you. I'm trying to bring it out of myself, to be honest. I'm really trying, and I think that energy is like really felt. I think the main, like, probably the most, I've made so many decisions for myself that were awesome decisions. Most of those decisions were leaving. Yeah, most of those decisions were, it's so fun to do this in the woods, by the way, because I feel like most people that are coming out here are trying to be alone, and it feels oddly comforting to do this sort of thing around people that are trying to be alone. Like, they're not going to, it doesn't, like, I don't feel like I'm being judged, because I've seen a few people here so far already. Like, I saw someone doing like some weird dance thing like in the corner there, and I was trying not to be distracted by them. Like, people come here to release their energy, and it is incredible, like, to do that in the midst of trees, because as long as you feel safe enough to do it, and like I said, this is the predicament of being a girl. I think it's going to get easier as I get older, but as long as you feel safe to release your negative energy, doing it in solitary is like the only way to do it in really properly. Like, the only way to, like, like, I've been talking to someone about, you know, possibly finding a shaman or like a spiritual, like someone that could help me like remember my past memories, or, you know, like they do like all these rituals, like, you know, ayahuasca, mushrooms, all these things to try to remember all of your memories so that you can process them and you can like release it. I am so afraid of doing that because it will have to be with a human, with a person, and I don't feel like I can really do that around people, but I feel like I can do that here, and it is very, very validating to see other people doing their kind of weird emotional releases here too. It's really nice. But anyways, as I was saying, probably the most important decisions I've ever made are leaving the frum community, like leaving the Orthodox Jewish community when I was like 23, 24. By leaving, I mean like totally, I cold turkey stop going to shul, stop eating kosher food, and like practicing, like there's a lot of laws. And I wasn't just like modern Orthodox, like my family isn't modern Orthodox, like we grew up, at least the schools that I went to were like Beis Yaakov, ultra Orthodox. So that was one of the first thing. And not if you're Orthodox Jewish, like this is not to knock on your practice. For me, it was like that was the first thing I needed to do, because I just couldn't handle it anymore. So that was the first like really important decision I made for myself. Most of these decisions have to do with leaving communities, leaving situations. I left politics. That was a really important decision because I didn't realize how much it was like killing me. I realized it, but it was like after the fact. And then I left the US, and now I am on the verge of maybe leaving humans. And that's like a really, really scary decision, because without humans, I can't have a family. I can't have my dreams. Like, I want so much to have a family. Like, I really do. I think it's a privilege. Like, you really should not be bringing innocent souls into the world without understanding and feeling completely responsible for like every aspect of their life, at least until a certain age, you know? After you've given them a strong foundation, like, then they can go and they can create their own experiences and memories and whatever. But like, for me, I can't live with the thought of continuing myself into another person the way that I am right now, because I still have so much more to release and let go of. And it's really hard for me to do that around humans. So this is a really hard decision. It's like, do you let go of your dreams so that you can also let go of like the thing that is blocking you from achieving your ideal peace. I don't know. Should we walk through the mountains a little more? Let's do it. See what's out there. Oof. It's like a marching band or something. Two roads diverged. Let's take this one. This looks like the garbage road. Guys, if I get kidnapped and nobody ever sees this video, that'll be kind of fine, I guess. Yeah. I hate having to be this like chill person just to be around other people, because I'm really not chill. I have so much stressed energy like just in my body 24/7, and when I'm around other people it's a lot worse. It's a lot worse, and it's like I don't even like know how to reconcile it. And like, do I just this is so nice. I don't know if you can hear the sounds. There's a dog barking, there's a sound of like a truck in far distance, there's a sound of birds, all different kinds of birds, just like my piano. I got this like foldable piano that's it comes in like you can carry it around with you. It comes in like a little carry-on case, and you can, it's a digital piano, meaning like it's weighted keys, so it feels like a piano, but it doesn't, it's like a cheap thing. I got it for like $150 or something. So $150 compared to like an actual piano, very cheap, right? And you can carry it around with you. And what I realized is that it doesn't even need to be plugged into the wall, so I can actually like bring it out here and I can play piano for the forest. I think for me, in order to do this more, I have to learn how to feel safe and be aware of my surroundings, because like, yeah, sometimes I just feel like I should just kill myself. I'm not suicidal, please do not like quote me, but like sometimes I just feel like there's literally no way for me to be on this earth. Like, you have to be around humans, because unless you want to lock yourself up in your house, which I really can't do. I can't even be in my house for like a couple hours at a time. I will go crazy. I need to be outside. I need to be in nature. I need to be here around the trees and the flowers or whatever, leaves and whatever. Fresh air, sunlight. I need that. But how can you be out in the woods and out in nature when you don't feel safe around people? Like, someone can just like walk out here and then you have to fight them. Or it's a bear, you have to fight the bear. Like, I hear movement in leaves. If a bear comes from behind me, at least I will see it in this camera. Yeah, it's pretty cathartic for me. Screw you guys. I don't care. I don't care what you guys think. Because if you're watching this, like, if you're watching this video, you're crazy. If you think that I'm crazy, but you're sitting and watching this video, and you might watch this till the end, you're definitely crazy by your own metrics. I'm not saying that I think you're crazy. I'm just saying that by your own metrics, you are insane. What I think crazy means is really, I think crazy is being exposed to things and not being able to react to them. That's crazy. Not even knowing, like, because crazy is just, it's like insanity. It's like your brain is not registering what, like, is actually happening, or, you know, it's like crazy means I'm walking through this forest and a bear comes from behind me and fights me, and I am not afraid at all. But not because I am actually stronger than the bear, not because I actually am able to fight the bear, but because I literally don't have the parts of my brain that are supposed to register the fear, that are supposed to even sense this danger, or like this bad energy, this scary energy or whatever, is dead. It is non-existent. That, to me, that is crazy. To me, that's like, you're so crazy that you don't even know that, like, you're missing parts of you. That's craziness to me. Gotta put my hat on because it's cold. Cusco. I don't like cold weather. I don't like cold weather. I was not meant for cold weather. I was not created to be like wearing frumpy clothes all day and traveling with heavy clothes. Like, these aren't even my shirts. These are Andrew's. This. Yeah, I was made to be in like warm weather. I really don't miss living in America too. I mean, there's warm places in the US, but I just don't miss it. Like, I don't understand why. I know why people are able to handle it, because they don't think that there's anything better. Like, they don't understand or know, they can't conceptualize a better life, because they are given like, when I grew up in the US, you're given basically like kind of this idea of what a good life is. I need to sneeze, God. You're given like this idea of what a good life is, and that's like kind of your standard, but you go through life and that standard of life is like totally unattainable. But then there's like a lot of people in the world that are really, really happy and that actually are having kind of more than what they envisioned to be, and like they'll come to you and be like, oh, I came from this country, we didn't even have running water or whatever. Like, they'll say things like that, and you're like, oh, you feel so bad for them, and you're like crying for them and whatever, but you don't realize that like they're still happy. And it's not like, oh, we're happy with less. That is like the way your brain is conditioned to think, that this is less. Like, you don't realize how traumatic and stressful your life is, because the paradigm that you were given is that you are privileged and that you are living, that you have a leg up. yes, you have a leg up if you leave the United States, you take your money, if you have any money, take your savings. You have, I'm not exaggerating. I had $3,000 in my bank account, 2 mortgages when we left the States. I had all my credit cards maxed out, $3,000 in my bank account, and 2 mortgages that $3,000 was for, like, to pay. It was like no money plus all of my credit cards maxed out, plus 2 mortgages, plus student loans, which I don't have to pay back as long as I just never come back to the US, which is fine with me. If you're wondering how that works, you can look up the laws. Look up the foreign. I literally wrote about this in my book. The foreign. I'm forgetting about it. I literally wrote about it in my book, and I talk about it all the time. You guys are laughing because I've talked about this so much. But anyways, I'm having a mind blank. Look up the laws. If you have student loans and you leave the United States and you don't make an income above a certain threshold, so that, like, under 130,000 a year, so that's tax exempted, that is income that is exempted from your tax returns, you don't have to pay your student loans back. You can be on income driven repayment, which means that you don't have any money, so you can't pay back your loans until you are making money, and then after a certain amount of time, the clock is just reset. It's forgiven after I don't even know how many years now they have it. I think it used to be 10 years, and now they raised it to 20 years for loan forgiveness, like while you're in repayment. I don't even know. I don't even care. I don't want to go back to the States in 10 years. I don't want to go back in 20 years. I don't want to go back ever. I don't think that people like realize or understand what happiness is. They'll be like, this is happiness. Like, happiness is like being able to think your thoughts, to be able to feel your feelings, to be able to be who you are and not like worry that, the world is gonna fall apart because of who you are. And like, the only thing that makes me feel like, I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but like literally the only thing that makes me feel like I can be on this planet without being like a harm to the planet is that I can come to a place like this and I can be whatever I am, and these trees are not going to be hurt. These trees will be fine. This tree is my buddy here. Like, they're totally chill with me being whatever I am, and it feels like love, and it's so nice. And I'm not saying that other people aren't chill with me being who I am, but other people can't handle it. Like, they won't be able to, because like a lot of humans, I have been like carrying cop cars here. I've been carrying just bags and bags and bags of emotional stuff for so long, and it would kill someone if I were to let it out around them. It might kill someone. I mean, I don't know, like, yeah. I don't know if this is like park rangers or cops. They're always hanging out here, and they always just like, they don't look like they're on duty. Like, they're always like doing stuff here. For anyone that's just watching, I'm in Mexico. Mexico is, to me, it feels like I'm in the US. Like, so far, all the places that we've been to in Mexico, we haven't been to a lot of places in Mexico, but so far, every place that we've been to in Mexico, I literally feel like I'm in the US. And it's kind of disconcerting. Like, in Colombia, it doesn't. In Colombia feels like what I would have envisioned Mexico to feel like when I was younger. Like, when I was younger, I had a certain idea of what being in Mexico was like and felt like and whatever. Just a vibe. I feel like Colombia is that vibe. Mexico feels like the US. It feels, I don't really feel like I'm far away or anything. So I think that's also kind of not, you know, a very comfortable feeling, because I feel like too close to the States for comfort. And I just didn't really have a good time in the States, and I don't understand how people do. I think that people are able to handle and absorb a lot of stress. I'm not. But I don't think they're able to either. I think they project their negativity a lot on you, like on me. I just felt like being in the States, I just felt gaslit. I feel like most of the time around most people, I feel gaslit. I feel like, you know, like I'm suffering in my body 24/7. But then when I'm around other people, I feel like just even worse, much worse, much worse. I can't even believe that a person like me is even thinking about having children. Like, how, why? But I really want it. Like, I want it so much, and every time we pass by babies, like, I want to cry, I want to touch them, I want to, like, babies bring out emotions in me, you know? Maybe because it reminds me of myself, my baby self. And some people say that that's very healing to have your own kids and kind of feel vicariously through them. But it's really important for me that I don't do to a child what was done to me, which is like, I know what it feels like for people to feel vicariously through you, for people to like, you're basically the crazy, hello, you're basically like the crazy vessel for all of their feelings, for them to feel their feelings through without them having to look or feel crazy and feel all the feelings. So they feel it through you. I don't know if that's making sense, but I just don't want to do that to children. I just would rather feel my feelings through myself, connect with my own inner child, connect with my own innocence, be that for myself, and not because, yeah, it's just like, even if you don't screw up your child, even if you don't screw up your child by being a screwed up person, like, just having in your bones, like in your DNA, trauma that was unreleased is going to transfer to your child. It's gonna hurt them. You know, it might even come as like a health problem. So I don't want to pass down health problems to my future kids, because that would be basically re-traumatizing myself. That would be recreating my childhood. And I think that it's kind of incumbent on every person that does think about wanting to reproduce to, your job as someone who wants to reproduce is to like try to do it a little better than your parents did. That's your job. That's my job, to try to do it a little better than my parents did. My parents did it a little better than their parents did it, and so forth. So it's my job to do it a little better than my parents did it. Yeah. I don't even give a shit. Like, I don't even give a shit. Do you guys ever feel like you're thinking your thoughts, but not through your own mind? You're thinking your thoughts through the mind of somebody else. Even right now, like, do you feel like you're thinking your thoughts through me, through my thoughts, through my perspective? You're not thinking your thoughts through your own head. Like, who are you? Who am I? Like, do you ever think to yourself, like, am I thinking whatever I'm thinking, my thoughts, my opinions, is it me? Is it my purest form? Is that who is speaking and projecting? Or am I simply reflecting the feelings and thoughts of another person because I just care about the feelings and thoughts of other people more than my own, because I was maybe trained that way, because maybe the person who raised me as a child taught me to care more about their feelings than my own feelings. So do you ever feel like it's so hard for you to be around people and be around your own thoughts and feelings? Because, and actually I was watching this review of Jordan Peterson and by this ex-psychotherapist Daniel Mackler. He's talking about Jordan Peterson. Maybe I'll include the link down in the description. He's talking about Jordan Peterson, his book, The 12 Rules for Life, which I have that book. I'm about to get rid of it because I'm about to get rid of my home. So anyway, there's one of the rules for life that Jordan Peterson has is that you do not allow your children to do things you don't like. You don't allow your children to do things you don't like, in so many words. And I really don't want to botch this up, so I'm going to include the link to this guy's video in the description below. So in other words, your children are responsible for your emotional regulation, essentially, because what you like and what you don't like is really just reflective of whatever the world has been to you, your traumas, your experiences. And so if you really, really don't like something, like you're a traumatized person, like for me, I really don't like being around people. As much as I can, you know, there's some people that I like more than all other people, and that is the people in my life. I like them more than all other people, but it's so hard for me to be around people. So imagine if I were to inflict that, and I know I would inflict that burden onto my children based on Jordan Peterson's rule of you do not allow your child to do things that you don't like. So in order to regulate my own emotions of like preventing myself from being traumatized, being around other people too much, I'm going to force my children to be a hermit with me in the woods. So I know that a lot of people, if Jordan Peterson, like thought leader on, you know, not just on the right, like in the world, in a lot of places, and you know, I know there's people watch this and they're like, oh no, he's just a fringe, or he's just a this or that. He's not a fringe. Jordan Peterson's a very smart guy, and he's very well respected. But like, if someone like that
kind of has this attitude, like that's a lot of people, like a lot of people are walking around, going around thinking that their children are basically conduits for their own emotional regulation. So so why would you be able to think and feel your own thoughts? You were trained as a baby to think and feel the thoughts of other people. And that comes with a lot of things. That means that if I go out to a party, I go somewhere, I can't think in my own head because other people are constantly stealing me to start thinking through their head just by them being around, just by them being near me. Like, you know, I talked to you guys about my feelings of not being able to be with, it's really hard for me to be with a partner without absorbing all of his family and friends and all of their expectations. It is really hard for me to be around somebody and and still see myself as my own person, be around them 24/7 and not start to see myself as him. It is really, really, really hard. And some people call that enmeshment. You know, a lot of us are wired to be conduits for emotional regulation for our caregivers. And so that becomes, you know, that it starts with our caregivers. Your brain is wired to become enmeshed if you spend too long around another human. Your brain is wired to move with the every whim of your parent, usually your mom. If your mom is, you know, like my mom was very young and she was literally like escaping from a war and all these like crazy, my mom went through crazy shit. So like you become like the teddy bear for a very, very, very traumatized and dysregulated person. You become their 24/7 emotional regulator. And what happens when your brain is wired like that, when your brain is wired to be attuned to the every cry, scream, whim, all these terrible, terrible feelings that this person is going through, but that is happening to you in your developmental years. Your brain is wired, is being developed for the purpose of being an emotional conduit for the caregiver. It is really hard to go through life and be around people and not start to feel like all of their problems are your problems, and all of their thoughts and all of the expectations that are on them are yours, and all of the guilt and shame that they hold and all the burdens and all the toxicity is all of a sudden yours. You know, like Andrew's like 45 years old, I'm 30, like he's lived like a whole life before me, and yet I am sitting and absorbing him, and it is so hard for me because I know that I would be doing this with anybody, but it's like I don't even know how to be in this world and not be completely alone. And like, because like I said, this is just, and the only reason I'm able to even do this vlog, have this talk with you guys, is because there is no person, like my lizard brain is not registering this as a person. So I'm able to actually think in my own thoughts with my own self and see myself. And it feels pretty nice, actually, because like my own life is actually pretty chill, And I've actually, you know, it was very stressful in the States, but like I've really gotten rid of like everything. I've really gotten rid of everything that could put any kind of burden or stress or load on me. I've downsized like crazy. I've left communities. I barely talk to family, relatives. Like, you know, I have a good relationship with them, but it's because I'm able to have a good relationship with people because I really try to disengage, and I like it that way. It just feels safe that way. So one more thing I want to say before I go is that if you guys have ever heard of human design, it was really helpful for me. I had, you know, one of the things that I've been doing for to find myself and to kind of heal through my feelings, my emotions, like just knowing myself and validating who I am as a person, was getting my human design chart analyzed by a human design expert. I'm gonna include a brief description of it and the link to the stuff in the description of this video. But basically, you can watch, like, we recorded the whole thing, my human design reading session. It's basically a analysis of who I am, my personality, what my purpose is, my limitations, blockages, different things like that. And it's very it was very enlightening for me to have that experience. You can do it online, you know, you're working and you don't have time to go out into the woods and like find yourself the way that I'm doing it. Like, you can do this session online. You can schedule it with Francis, who's the human design expert. And I've included, you know, it was really amazing for me, and I've been doing a lot of different things to try to heal my mind body, but this stood out so much that I asked Francis if he would be willing to give a special discount code for people that watch my videos, and he agreed. And I really appreciate it. So yeah, you guys get a special discount code, discount on his readings if if you're interested and you wanted to book it, and by using my name, using my promo code Pardes. So anyway, all that is in the description below, and hope it helps you. I'm gonna continue going on my walk, and actually, since I'm filming this on my phone, I'm going to, my butt. Since I'm filming this on my phone, I can't really listen to music or like a podcast while I'm walking around, so I'm going to turn it off so I can do that. But later, when I have a GoPro, which I really plan to get my GoPro, if it still works, and if not, I'll just buy a new one or a knockoff GoPro, who cares. So yeah, later when I have it, I'll have like a GoPro, and it'll be less heavy for me to carry, and I'll just be able to also have my phone and play music and basically hang out with you guys, because why not? Go up these steps. Maybe there's a street up there, I can't even tell. All right, see you guys in the next video. Thanks for joining. Crazy people, kidding. Bye.